Here is the big narcissistic red flag that men do to actually show the women in their lives that they do not actually care about them.
See, it works.
Wow.
It works. I told you. It's a little puppy dog.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oops.
And look at her face.
Hurry up! I will never love you how you want me to. I will never love you how you want me to. I will never love you how you want me to. I'm fed up with you. I am so fed up with you. I cannot stand you. The way you act, the way you talk to me, the way you treat me makes me insane. I don't care what the fuck you record. Nothing of what you do is normal. Nothing of what you do, walking up on me like you're some kind of fucking tough shit. I will fucking show you tough. I will fucking show you.
I'm recording you. Get out of my house.
Tiffany, put your phone down. We're having
Get out of my house. Oh, now you're going to be calm?
Put your phone down. Have a conversation.
Get out of my house.
I'm not going anywhere.
Get out of my house.
I drove 45 minutes here.
Who cares how long you drove? She's telling you to leave. You just need to get off the property. What the?
Please get out.
Not until you put your phone down and talk to me.
How many times does she have to keep drawing the boundary and telling you to leave before you just say, I'm leaving? Like, this is seriously a scary situation. See, this is the perfect time to call the cops, in my opinion. How is he gonna say, I'm not gonna leave your property until you do what I say? If that isn't the most narcissistic thing I've heard today.
No, get out of my house.
You're fucking crazy. You're the one that stopped sharing location. I was asleep on my grandmother's fucking couch.
No, this guy really thinks he has an argument. You stopped sharing your location. That's where the problem came in. Maybe she didn't want you to know where she was?
Today we're going to be looking at narcissism, and we're going to be exploring stories of people that have lived or have been in relationships with narcissistic partners, narcissistic men. And I don't claim to be a professional in any sort of way, but from personal research and from information that I've gathered, there are some traits that are linked to narcissistic behavior in a partner. And I'm going to share stories of ladies talking about their experiences with their different narcissistic partners. And of course, it's all for educational purposes, because of course from the stories we're going to be noticing the patterns, how these narcissistic men operate, their traits. So let's quickly get into the video.
It just says locations and no time either. See, this is stuff that I don't know because you hide it from me, and you're like, oh, you don't know anything that's going on.
I didn't hide anything.
I'm not hiding about it. I gotta come in and see it.
So I start school next week. I'm so excited. I have to wear scrubs. My husband cracked a joke today, narcissistic husband, and he said, you know why a queen is the best playing piece on the board? Because the board looks like a kitchen floor. Starting school is going to be so much fun for me. Pray for me. I'm going to need prayers. It's going to be sabotaged with not being a stay-at-home mom anymore. It'll 1000% be sabotaged. I'm going to have a lot of strength right now. It's gonna be okay. He's such a misogynistic man. Like, he really thinks I shouldn't do anything with my life except stay home and cater to him. He's gonna do everything in his power to make sure I don't make it through school and finish. Which is why all your support on this app is so amazing. So thank you again. I'll say thank you forever for your support and love. Because like I said, I need it desperately.
So you gonna break the back of my... Bro, you do too much, bro. So you gonna... This is what you gonna do. You do too much. You do too much. This is what you gonna do. You do too much. So this is what you gonna do.
Busted open the back window.
So you wanna act crazy?
Climbing through. Cause you got his
You
phone.
wanna be crazy? I'm recording you.
She got his phone, and this is what happened, y'all. Look, this man busted the windshield, the back window open, because she was going through his phone. Hey, did he scratch the side of the car too? What the hell? Wow. Because she was going through his phone. Oh, he's not hiding nothing, though. He's not hiding nothing. He's innocent. I'm not saying that man is a narcissist. I'm not saying that, y'all. But that's how a court narcissist will act, right? Imagine being married and your husband forgets his phone in your car. Then you lock yourself in your car to go through it, and this happens. This happens. The bugs. I'm not saying that Bug is a narcissist. Damn, come on. This comment in her comment section did win the award for comment of the year right here, y'all.
The number one sign that you need to know, without a doubt, that you're dating a narcissist or married to one or shacking up or whatever, you're dealing with a narcissist. The number one narcissistic sign in a man, which this one is a little bit confusing, again, for a lot of people. It was confusing for myself, but that sign is that this person, no matter how hard you try to give them grace, no matter how hard you try to be patient with them, no matter how hard you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, you still have this gut feeling that this person is childlike. A narcissistic man is a very, very, very childish man. These are the most childish people you'll ever meet. They can be in their 50s, their 30s, their 40s, even their 70s. Their mentality, the way they reason, the way they argue, the way they talk, the way they blame you, just everything about them is childish. It's kid-like. And again, this is confusing because a lot of people, you try to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, maybe their reasoning is different. Maybe their background is different. Maybe their religion, or you try to blame it on everything else. But there's just something that if you compare this specific person to someone else his age, another man his age and caliber, there's a big disconnect. Even comparing them to you, the way you would think about things, the way you would respond to things, the way you would answer to certain things or act or react is just different. These are the most childish people. And it's hard to explain to someone who hasn't dealt with it. The people who have dealt with it, please comment down below.
So from what I've gathered, apparently there is a narcissism that is considered healthy. Now where the problem comes in is when it gets unhealthy, which is characterized by when a person constantly seeks validation and praise from others, when a person struggles to empathize with others, when a person deems themselves better than everyone else, and when a person feels entitled and superior to others. And also when a person has a high dose of jealousy and insecurity. So all this can be categorized as unhealthy narcissism.
Here's some things that my soon-to-be ex-husband used to do that I didn't realize wasn't normal until after I left. When the Wi-Fi guy came to install our internet, he made me FaceTime him the entire time because he said that I might try and sleep with him, and then he still accused me of sleeping with him, saying that I could have slept with him before I called him or after I hung up the phone. Didn't tell me happy birthday until right before I fell asleep on my birthday, 2 months after we got married. Gaslit and manipulated me into not having a job and said, I just want you to be a stay-at-home wife. And then when like money problems would come up or any kind of issue with me would come up, he would complain about how I didn't have a job and how I'm just mooching off of him. Only came home and ate dinner with me maybe twice a week because he was at his parents' or his brother's house. He did not get me a Christmas present, but instead he gave me his debit card and said, don't know what you want, you got $50, go get yourself something nice. Complained and told me that I was folding his clothes wrong when he never ever did laundry, washed clothes, nothing. He told me over a year after we'd been married and I was pregnant that he wanted multiple wives, and then he was upset that I was upset about it. Got pissed when my parents bought us groceries one time. Told me that he didn't believe that our son was his son, and when I said get a paternity test, he said, I don't even want to because it could be so close to my brother's DNA that you probably slept with that it would just say that it was mine and I would still never know. When the electricity went out on 2 of our rooms, including a bathroom, and our washing machine was broken, and I tried to get him to fix it for about 9 months, he told me that I should have been more grateful and that it was a test to me because people back in the olden days didn't have that kind of stuff, so I should have just been grateful that I had it in the first place, even if it was broken.
I can't even just point out just one thing from everything she said. I mean, this person is entitled. This is a definition of when a man is entitled, when a person never takes accountability, when everything is going to be on you. This is a typical example of a person that would drain the life out of you. because it's always something going on. There's always something that you're not doing right. They are never taking accountability. They are never accepting that they are wrong or they are doing something wrong. You try to do something good for them and they turn it into something negative. You try to help out and you're faulted. You try not to do anything that you like. There is always going to be something you're doing wrong in the eyes of a narcissistic man. It's just crazy. Are we seeing the pattern already? Let's look at this one together.
He screamed and yelled at me because I was washing our pot in the sink and it was clanging against the porcelain, and he yelled and screamed at me because he said the pot is going to scrape against the porcelain and that I don't give a shit about our sink. He also snapped at me because I needed to defrost a pound of ground turkey and you could defrost it in the microwave, and he yelled at me because he said he's never seen anyone defrost turkey like that before. He screamed and yelled at me because our dog was on a retractable leash and our dog went around the corner of a wall and the leash ran against the wall, and he yelled at me saying that I don't care about our house, it's going to leave a black mark on the wall. He also screamed and yelled at me that same day because I opened the car door to let our dog in and our dog jumped on the seat, very small dog, and he yelled and screamed at me saying I should have picked him up because his claws are going to scratch the seat. And this was on the way to my parents' house on Christmas Day. He then began to scream and yell at me for the next hour and a half driving up to my parents' house on Christmas Day, telling me how I don't give a shit about our house, about our car, and then he started going in on me and things that were wrong with me. Saying that I was fat, that I didn't give a shit about him and our nice things, that I was not smelling quite right down below, and saying that I need to get that checked out because something's wrong with me. He screamed at me when I needed to stop to use the bathroom because I have IBS and he also has intestinal issues, and I needed to stop and use a bathroom that wasn't in the safest area, and he screamed and yelled at me and said that I was selfish for needing to stop and use the bathroom. He screamed and yelled at me the day that I moved in with him. This was the first time that I saw his actual narcissistic self and the abuse began, calling me saying that basically he was my little bitch for helping me move all my stuff that day, and proceeded to scream at me all the way to our new house. He screamed and yelled at me because I freaked out because his dog drank his coffee and I was freaking out saying we need to take him to the vet, and he screamed at me saying that I'm overreacting and I need to calm the fuck down. He attempted to commit suicide by driving to a bridge, and I knew that's where he was going, so I drove up there to stop him, but the police had already arrived on scene. Someone saw him on the bridge and called it in. When the police brought me down to him, the first thing he said to me was, "We're going to have to talk to our therapist about this when we go to therapy because I'm mad at you that you called the cops." And I said, I wasn't the one that called the police, somebody else did. One time he was screaming and yelling at me, and we went to In-N-Out, and I got out to use the bathroom. And when I came out, my sister and my brother-in-law were there, and I had to act normal. I got in the car and we drove away, and he said, "Great, you were crying. Now they're going to think that I abuse you. Way to make me look bad." He proceeded to cheat on me by texting his best friend's wife very inappropriately. Then he proceeded to text another woman on Instagram inappropriately, and she reached out to me. Both of them reached out to me and showed me the evidence that he was talking to them. He told me time and time again that his mother was a grandiose narcissist, trying to convince me to not like her, but she was always extremely nice to me. But it turns out I found out from his ex-wife that their therapist called him the grandiose narcissist. So he was the narcissist, not his mother. I remember my car was parked in our garage and it was too close to the wall, and I had an appointment that I needed to go to, and his work was 15 minutes down the road. He could leave whenever he wanted, and I couldn't back out, so I called him saying, "Would you be able to come home real quick and just back the car out?" He proceeded to scream at me on the phone, saying that this is ridiculous, and hung up. He shows up 15 minutes later, gets out of the car, and he was like, "This is very selfish of you. You're being selfish." Backs the car out and then just leaves and goes back to work. There's even more to this, but a couple years after I left him, he was doing something that he loves, riding motorbikes, like motocross, and somehow got in an accident that broke both of his legs, feet, and ankles. If that ain't karma, I don't know what that is.
Now from this story, I cannot pinpoint just one thing. It's just a whole lot. Now, first of all, I can say for a fact that he wasn't trying to unalive himself. that was all for attention, and he was just looking for a new way to gaslight his wife or every other person around. He was just seeking attention, basically. I would just call that manipulation at its finest. It just shows a person that is not happy when their partner is happy or just in a good mood. You know, narcissistic people thrive in chaos. When they rattle you, when you're angry, when they see that you're not happy, that's what they want. They don't want you happy. They don't want you, in a good mood. They don't enjoy a peaceful environment. They always like it when everywhere is chaotic, when you're unhappy, when you're sad, when they're making the house uncomfortable for you. And they thrive on attention. As you can see, he faked suicide. I bet you he wasn't trying to unalive himself. He wasn't. He was just seeking for attention and trying to gaslight people or anybody that could believe him. I want us to notice these patterns so that if you're getting into a relationship with a man or you're already in a relationship with a man and he's portraying these characteristics, I need you to run. I need you to understand that you're in a harmful environment and you need to run away because you're dealing with a narcissist. And it pains me that so many women don't seem to realize or clock this behavior in time and get as far as possible from these partners. They tend to realize when it's already too late, when they've been abused, when the life force has already been drained out of them. That's mostly when they realize themselves and leave these men. And it's very important for us to know this pattern so that if you get with someone that portrays this kind of characteristics, you would know to leave in time before it gets late, before they drain the life force out of you. It is a flaw for you to think that you can change a narcissistic partner. That if you stay longer and try to, please them and change your behavior, they may change. They may likely change. No, they never change. It's a personality flaw. So it's not in your power to change that kind of person. You need to protect yourself, first of all, by leaving that person as fast as possible.
These are signs that I ignored in my narcissistic relationship that I'll never do again. Part 1. Number 1, deleting all of my Instagram photos in bikinis or anything slightly sexy had to go. It made him really insecure. But he still got to follow like IG models and his ex. But then I ended up just deleting it altogether because what's the point of having it at that point? Number 2, letting his mom disrespect me. And then his excuse would be, that's just how she is. Why are you mad? Number 3, he would intentionally start an argument right before a special occasion or anywhere that we had to be at just so he didn't have to show up. Number 4, constantly being worried about what I was wearing and being prepared to change at any moment if it made him insecure. That one was so annoying. I hated that. Number 5, I wasn't allowed to hang out with my girlfriends or have girls' night or do anything without him because he was afraid I was going to cheat on him. Isn't that funny how that works? Because he was a cheater. Funny, not funny, but. Number 6, not knowing who's cooking dinner, me or his mom. And when I thought I was cooking dinner, she would tell me to stay out of the kitchen. And if I wanted to be in the kitchen, I had to wash the dishes, which I end up doing anyway. So. Number 7, allowing him to sleep with his phone underneath the pillow and taking it in every single room and guarding it with his life. Well, we know why now, but yeah, never again. Number 8, this is a good one. Cooking and cleaning and paying half the bills, including all the remodeling that we did in our home, just to be told that I'm still not doing enough. I have no words. Like, what? What kind of man are you? And number 10, my favorite one, which led us here. Multiple women reaching out to me, telling me and showing me proof that he was cheating on me, just for him to be like, they're obviously lying because they want me and they're jealous of what we have. Don't believe them.
Narcissists are coded to usurp your energy and identity. It's not even just about dimming your aura or overshadowing you in some way. They literally want to be in your skin. That's some scurry shit. Yeah. Now, being that I was in this relationship for so long and went through the woos and ahs of psychological abuse, I was a prisoner of war for that whole entire time. And we brought children into the equation. It really started allowing me to see how serious this sickness was. Because not only was this man, if you go back and watch that video, she goes further in depth. Even in the comments, they talk about the narcissist is also jealous of their children. This was insane to me because my background is filled with love. I had love as a child. My mother and father, I did not have to question what it felt like to be loved, to be seen, and to be heard. Were there instances where I felt like I was not? Yes. But to the extent where I became an adult and started leeching off of other people, making them question themselves and spiral them into a ritual that makes them lose sense of their identity, their sense of self. They don't know who they are. They can't trust their intuition. They're only loyal to people outside of them, aka you, the narcissist. No, I never even could fathom that this was the type of situations that women were putting up with.
One of the characteristics of a narcissist is they believe that they are the most important people in your life. A narcissist believes that they are the most important person in their partner's life. They believe that everybody and everything else should be catered towards them, to their emotions, to their feelings, to their wants. They believe they are the most important person in your life, basically. So a person that already thinks that they are the most important person in your life would obviously be jealous of their kids if they notice that their kids are getting more attention than them. And it can be in an unhealthy way. We know sometimes parents joke about, moms giving their kids more attention, but it becomes narcissism when it's an unhealthy kind of jealousy, when it starts portraying toxic characteristics because his kids are getting more attention. That, my sister, is narcissism. So a narcissist is obsessed with attention. A narcissist is obsessed with control. A narcissist is obsessed with manipulation. They are very fond of gaslighting you. They never take accountability for their actions. They are never wrong. They are never wrong. They are very good at gaslighting and manipulating you. In fact, they will build up stories that never happened. They will build up scenarios that never happened simply to validate whatever thing they are saying. And they are very good at recruiting people to be on their side. So you have no one to support you. So you have no safe space. First of all, their first line of action is isolation. When your partner starts by isolating you from your friends, your family, people that you love, you need to be careful to know if you're dealing with a narcissist. In a healthy relationship, that kind of control is not needed, obviously. You cannot be in a healthy relationship and your partner is policing your every move. You have no freedom. There is freedom in love. Any love or any relationship that requires policing and control, that is not love anymore. That is basically manipulation and control. That's narcissism. So let's not confuse love and narcissism, control and toxicity. Because the signs would always be glaring. A man comes into your life and he wants all your attention 24/7 to be on him. He doesn't want you going out. He doesn't want you having a life outside of him. That's your cue. Because if you let them, they are going to mess you up. They are going to drain the life force out of you. They are going to drain the energy out of you. And we know where that ends. They will keep you doubting yourself every blessed time. They will drain your self-esteem, keep you feeling confused. They'll make you feeling like you're never enough. You're never ever going to be able to please them. You're always going to be trying to pander to their emotions, to their needs, to their feelings. You would forget yourself in the process. And you're never ever going to get it right with them. So don't even try. There's no point in trying. Because to them, you're never right. He's always going to keep you working for his love. He's always literally 24/7. He's going to keep you working for his love and seeking his approval, which you're never going to get. So why try? It's best you stay clear from this kind of person. And don't ever make the mistake of thinking that you can change a narcissistic person. No. They are stuck in their ways. You're not a professional. They need serious help. So it's better you set your boundaries, cut off communication from them, and stay as far as possible from them. For your own mental health, for your own sake, Definitely, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section, what you guys think of this. And on that note, I've come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for always watching. I remain your girl Joy. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Don't forget to like this video if you find it educating or interesting in any way. And don't forget to subscribe, of course, to the channel if you're not subscribed. And kindly share it to anyone you think might be interested in this conversation. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a blessed day. Bye.